America's watching ABC.
Just ahead on the News Channel. Investigators begin the process of looking through the wreckage of a Louisville-based C130 in Evansville. We'll tell you what they've found.
Also, the life and death struggle at the fiery crash site this morning. And at home, those who knew the crew members of the plane share their memories. The news is next on WHAS 11.
Hello, I'm Tony Holland, the second generation of Holland Extra Tax. Behind me you can see from our board meetings how we run our company like a family. We are proud of our quality work, same-day service, and low prices. This is our 4th year of offering fast cash refunds, the very fastest way to get your refund. And now, I'd like to show you how we're preparing our 3rd generation to act your tax.
Did you know they squeeze all Florida Gold orange juice from one orange?
It must be an orange this big.
No, one kind of orange, the Valencia.
I bet big orange trees a million feet tall.
Florida Gold uses only Valencia. They're the best, most expensive juice oranges.
Probably got picked them from helicopters.
Florida Gold orange juice. It's not a blend of all kinds of oranges. It's pure Valencia.
Bring the family and join the fun with some good old-fashioned down-home savings during Country Western Days at Value City. Out of a $1.5 million buyout, Missy and Junior's jeans from P.S. Catano and no excuses. Not $22 to $26, only $7.99. Part of a $5 million buyout, men's famous maker denim shorts, not $17.50, only $5.99. Part of a $1 million buyout, girls 4 to 14, Levi's separates, not $18 to $31, only $5.99 to $12.99. During Country Western Days at all Value City department stores.
There'll never be a better time to buy a new Honda than during the Sam's Hope Honda 4-day super sale. Save hundreds with 6.9% financing this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
This is Kentuckiana's 24-hour news channel, WHAS 11. Live at 11 from the leader in television news, Gary Rodemeyer, Melissa Swan, Chuck Taylor, and Dave Conrad. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
The aftermath in Evansville just hours ago, it was a scene of terror and devastation.
A C-130 transport plane out of Louisville crashes into a hotel and a restaurant, killing 16 people this morning.
And you are looking now at live pictures of the scene where investigators are searching for clues as to just how this happened. Good evening, everyone. The investigation continues tonight, but still no real answers to what may have caused the crash this morning.
Tonight, disaster crews are trying to remove the remaining bodies and preserve the material needed for that investigation. The News Channel's John McGrath is live tonight in Evansville at the scene, and he has the latest on the story. John?
Gary, Melissa, what you are seeing right over my shoulder is what is left of that C-130. They have now located the bodies of the 5 crew members and are in the process of removing them from the wreckage. Also still in the restaurant are the 2 employees who died there. Now, the military is here in force as investigators try to figure out what caused a crash that most say should not have happened. After seeing Ground Zero, the devastation where the C-130 slammed to the earth, Lieutenant Colonel David Moorman had more questions than answers about what caused the crash. Moorman has flown the aircraft and knows the crew. He cannot understand what could have gone so wrong.
It's one of those things, it's a safe aircraft. The mission they were on was not an inherently dangerous mission at all. The crew is well qualified. If you add it all up, the mishap just couldn't have happened, but it did.
It will take some time to find the answers to the questions. Investigators will have to piece together what little is left of the C-130. While these veterans work on the official investigation, they deal with very unofficial emotions.
Inside, I'd like to find a room where I could cry.
I think, we've both seen combat, we've seen casualties. In this case, we've got military and civilian casualties. It goes very deep, and our foremost thought right now is of the families.
Now, let me say that the military has been incredibly straightforward and very helpful here. They're trying to get us information as soon as they have it, but they're clearly baffled by this crash. It is, as you heard, a crash that shouldn't have happened. Now, they're asking that anyone who witnessed this airplane going in to contact the authorities or come here to the Ramada Inn, which is right across the street from the hotel that was hit by the C-130, and get that information to the investigators. They will use that information and whatever they can piece together from what is left of this C-130 to try to determine what caused the crash. Live from Evansville, I'm John McGrath.
John, can you update us just a little bit? What's taking place directly behind you right now?
What's going on right now is they are going through the wreckage to remove the bodies of the 5 crewmen. Now, they're a little bit worried about trying to get into the rubble of the restaurant where the 2 bodies of the employees are because of a wall that is apparently damaged very badly and could cave in on the rescuers if they try to go for the bodies right now. So what they're doing right now is removing the bodies of the crew members. Melissa, Gary?
Thank you, John, and we'll be back in Evansville in just a moment.
Well, there were witnesses today, as John said. Many people watched in horror as the cargo plane seemed to lose altitude as it flew along Highway 41 near the Evansville airport. But for those inside the hotel and the restaurant, the crash was a quiet morning that suddenly turned into a disaster. The victims were trapped in smoke-filled hotel rooms, grasping for help, but some of them were beyond rescue. The restaurant, the front of JoJo's, mostly undamaged, provided an exit from stark terror as the walls caved in with burning fuel and deadly smoke. In the parking lot, cars were broken like toys, and they melted under the intense flames. Around the airport, a sunny winter morning is punctuated by a holocaust. A truck driver saw the tragedy unveil before his eyes.
But he'd lost all his power, evidently, or forward speed, and just nosed over. The left wing just dropped, and he went right straight into the hotel. He was going straight nose first when he went in.
Straight down, looking as if the engine had died.
And I was on the other side of the hotel coming north, and it just a whole ball of flame. I mean, the whole sky was just on fire. I mean, just one big orange ball.
And it was all so unexpected. A clear day, one of the armed forces' most reliable planes. As one officer said, this plane just doesn't crash. But today, the fine history of the C-130 meant little. Its propellers were scattered on a hotel parking lot. The Kentucky Air National Guard plane was reduced to pieces of smoldering metal in a tragedy that broke hearts in both Kentucky and Indiana.
The Louisville-based flight crew consisted of a pilot, 2 co-pilots, a flight engineer, and a loadmaster. Frank Hudson reports tonight on the local Air National Guard unit and its loss.
The captain of the ill-fated C-130 was Richard A. Strang, 39 years old, of Floyd's Knobs, Indiana. He was also a pilot for UPS. Captain Warren J. Klingeman was 29 years old. He was from Louisville. Second Lieutenant Vincent D. Yen Carr was the most inexperienced member of the flight crew. He was 25, also from Louisville. Master Sergeant William G. Hawkins was 41, of Crestwood, Kentucky, and Master Sergeant John M. Medley was 38, another Louisvillian. It was a very trying day for Air Guardsman Ed Tonini, who fielded hundreds of media questions and had the grim task of making sure next of kin had been notified.
Well, that's always a tough thing for somebody like me because basically, even though you've notified the next of kin, you still have a lot of people out there that are close to somebody, and the shock of hearing a name of someone that you're close to is always a very difficult thing, and as a result, it's a very difficult thing for me to pass out. But it's part of the job, and it's something that needs to be done.
On the Air Guard base, an ominous sign which nobody wanted to acknowledge today. It will soon be changed. Frank Hudson for the News Channel, WHAS 11.
And this tragedy has obviously left friends and family of the dead airmen in a state of shock.
Lawrence Smith of our staff has been talking to those who knew the flight crew of the C-130, and he is standing by live tonight in our newsroom with more on their story. Lawrence?
Gary, Melissa, I spoke with friends and family of 2 of the airmen, Warren Klingeman and William Hawkins. Both were said to be good men, family men, who died doing what they loved, flying. A steady stream of visitors came to Bill Hawkins' Crestwood home tonight. Hawkins, his wife Sue, and daughter Lisa had moved here just a few months ago. So many of those who knew Hawkins best still live in the old neighborhood a couple of miles away. They remember him as a quiet man and a good neighbor.
Bill was easygoing. You know, we fished together for a little bit, and like I say, we rode motorcycles, and he was just a nice fella. You know, he real smart man.
you don't think it's going to happen to someone you know, and when it does, it's really a bad shock.
The Hawkins had lived in this house for more than 15 years. They sold it to Glendon and Becky Snyder.
Bill and Sue are just good people. You know, you just can't beat them. They're backbone of America. I mean, they're good human beings. They're just a good family.
Trish Fryman is a classmate of Hawkins' daughter Lisa at South Oldham High School.
I don't think she'll take it real well because they just moved into their new house and everything was getting settled for them, and she's going to graduate next year, and I don't think she'll take it real well.
Meanwhile, in Jeffersontown, members of the 123rd were gathering at Warren Klingeman's house. His family, too, had recently moved into this new home, but friends said Klingeman had fit easily into his new neighborhood.
I used to be in the Air Guard myself, and so I had kind of a kinship there. And he was just a friendly fellow, quiet, very decent neighbor, kind of fellow you hate to lose.
Being so young, that it makes us try to sort of evaluate and appreciate that we have today, and makes me ache for her and what she's going through right now.
Understandably, neither Klingeman nor Hawkins' family wanted to share their feelings with us tonight. Gary, Melissa?
All right, thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you, Lawrence. It is, of course, the kind of nightmare all military personnel worry about and dread. Many from Louisville's Air National Guard unit were driving out of the base at quitting time tonight, shocked and saddened by the news that fellow guardsmen had died so tragically. Master Sergeant Jim Charbonneau knew at least 2 of the crew members who died in the fiery crash today in Evansville.
It's just awful sad. Accidents happen, but when it hits home, it hurts. I knew one of them for about 15 years.
This was just, it took everybody by surprise because the way we do our work around here, it shouldn't be done. We do the best maintenance we can on these, and we just can't understand what happened.
Master Sergeant Moody says he has worked on that same C-130 that crashed today. There were 2 other C-130s from the Louisville Air Base flying on training missions today. Relatives of some of those airmen came to check on their loved ones, even though they are safe. These people mourn the loss of their National Guard family.
And there is a lot of sorrow tonight in the city of Evansville. When that plane slammed into the hotel, it killed 11 people on the ground.
The deaths of those people are hitting the town of Evansville hard tonight, and our Chris Turner joins us live now back at the scene in Evansville. Chris?
Melissa, Gary, that is very true. It was one of these things that touches just about everybody in the community here in Evansville. As John mentioned earlier, workers are trying to recover the bodies of the military air crew and also the 2 people in the restaurant behind me. And maybe tomorrow before the bodies in the restaurant are recovered, because there's aircraft fuel in there and there's a concern that the walls might fall in on rescuers. Now you go to the top floor of the motel, there's a conference room there, and we have it confirmed that 9 people all died in the same room, 9 people from a local plumbing and industrial supplies company there for a training seminar. Their bodies were the first to be removed from here, and they're now at the county morgue. Even as firefighters worked to put out the flames, they knew it could be tricky to recover the victims of the crash. They had to protect evidence, and they had to make sure it was safe to go in. So it took 8 hours before workers moved the bodies of 9 people from the motel. Would it appear most of these people had smoke inhalation, or did they burn, or both? Or?
It's hard to tell at this time. I couldn't give you an answer on that. We'd have to wait until we do our examination and get our toxicology back.
But Vanderburgh County's coroner, Charles Althouse, later had to ask relatives questions about dental records and jewelry to speed up identifications. The bodies from the motel were taken to the county morgue. The relatives awaited word a few blocks away at a community center.
We need to know about their teeth, if they've had any dental work done. We need to know the name of their dentist. We need to know if there's any particular deformities, something about their height and size and so forth. Hairlines, long hair, short hair, and so forth. Some of those things, color of their eyes.
Red Cross volunteer Mary Jo Allgood helped some 150 people most of the day. They couldn't do much but wait at the center and call other relatives to see if they had heard any news.
As soon as the sun went down, attitudes and emotions changed. Sort of like the ray of hope left when the sun went down.
And we'll also tell you that 14 people were hurt, many of them critically. They are being treated tonight at hospitals in Evansville, Indianapolis, and in Louisville. Now, the survivors of this crash all have amazing stories to tell, and Paula Campbell's here with some of them. Paula?
Well, that's correct, Chris. In fact, just a short while ago, I spoke with two men who are in Evansville on business. They were guests at the Drury Inn and were instrumental in rescuing two others who were trapped inside. Here's their story.
So we were in the lobby, and we ate breakfast, and the next thing you know, you heard a plane coming right at the motel. I mean, there was no doubt, you couldn't mistake it. And it hit the building, and we hit the floor and ran out the front door.
Do you think you may have saved these people's lives by helping?
The one lady, there's no doubt when we ran up the corridor, the ambulances and the fire department weren't there yet, so we ran up the corridor and opened the door, and the smoke had come out quite a bit, and we started yelling down the hallway for people just to follow our voice. And
it was so black in there.
You couldn't see.
You couldn't see. You couldn't breathe, and it wasn't like there was a gap on the floor that you could even crawl on. It was just black smoke all the way to the floor, and all we could do was prop the door open, and there was no way we could actually go into the corridor. We could barely stay on the fire escape on the 4th floor with being able to breathe. And so we got down and just yelled to people to try to come out of the rooms and come to where we were. And luckily, two people did follow our voices.
I didn't realize the intensity of it at first. I mean, there was no doubt that the roof was on fire, that smoke was coming out the windows. When we opened the corridor, it was obvious what was going on. But, after we were done and we observed the building and seen what really went on and seen the size of the plane that had hit the building and the amount of people that, were caught inside, I looked at my room, and I remember we were both standing there, and I looked at the room, and I thought, it was charcoal.
Do you consider yourself heroes?
No, we're lucky.
It's lucky.
Now, while they downplay their heroic actions, there are two people who are alive tonight, thanks to Vince Julian and Dave Robbins. Melissa, Gary?
Thank you, Paula. An extraordinary story.
Thank you, Paula.
A teacher from the University of Southern Indiana and an Evansville plumber, both victims from today's crash, are hospitalized here in Louisville tonight. 36-year-old Lynn Jackson, the teacher, was flown in by a life flight helicopter from Evansville. She is in critical condition with burns over 35% of her body. She was apparently inside the hotel when the plane crashed into it. The second victim arrived in Louisville by ambulance. He is 33-year-old Tom Welch, a plumber from Evansville. He's also listed in critical condition with burns over about 11% of his body. University Hospital says it's prepared to take more patients at its burn unit, but doesn't expect any more tonight.
As we told you earlier this evening, one of the crew members who died in the crash today was also a pilot for UPS. Major Richard A. Strang from Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, was the captain of the ill-fated plane. Tonight, the company issued a statement saying it deeply regrets the loss of one of the UPS family. Strang was a crew member on the company's fleet of 727s.
And so, adding up the number of people killed and injured in this tragedy today, 5 Kentucky Air National Guardsmen, the crew of the plane, all dead tonight. 9 civilians in the hotel, 2 people in the restaurant were also killed in the crash and the resulting fire. 14 other civilians were injured in the crash. Most of them are in Evansville hospitals suffering from burns and smoke inhalation.
We will, of course, be staying at the scene tonight, and we'll bring you the latest from Evansville on the investigation tomorrow morning on the news channel at 6 a.m.
And a final note on this story, this is the regular drill weekend for the Air National Guard at Standiford Field, and indications are tonight that duty will call, that the unit will perform their duties as usual. All Air Wing members will be on duty this Saturday and Sunday.
Next on the news channel, we continue our exclusive investigation into bingo. Do the numbers add up?
Tonight, are the profits being skimmed into the wrong pockets?
The news on Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11, is sponsored by Liberty National Bank. There are banks, and there is liberty.
Henry Moore, Claude Monet, Rembrandt. You walk through these halls and feel their chisels chip stone, their brushes sweep life into a canvas. The J.B. Speed Art Museum, since 1927, Speed has taught, astonished, and delighted, and reminded us that like a bank which began its work about the time many of these artists began theirs, hard work and vision can create masterpieces that endure for decades. There are banks, and there is liberty.
When you're on the go, nothing beats a thermal go mug from Long John Silver's. It keeps hot drinks hot. And 99 cents each with any Long John's meal. 99 cents coupons. Get yours now. They're going fast.
Go fish at Long John Silver's.
Now go for Long John's Batter Dip Fish and Chicken Combo, just $1.99. WHAS 11 News is on Saturday morning, 8 to 11. 8 to 11, the only news in town Saturday morning, only on Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
Bacon's 14-hour sale starts tomorrow. 14 hours to shop and save with early bird specials from 9 until 1 and doorbuster specials while they last. Save from 30 to 50% on nylon activewear separates for juniors. And Levi Docker's Pebble Cloth Slacks for men on sale $24.88. Plus save 50% on select comforters and comforter sets. Don't miss it. Friday only. 14 hours of store-wide savings. Shop 9 a.m. till 11 p.m. during the 14-hour sale at Bacon's.
This Saturday, see All My Children's sexy Scott Thompson Baker in person and sign up to win an expense-paid trip to New York to visit an ABC soap set. Scott Thompson Baker at Oxmoor Mall, Saturday at 2. Sponsored by Oxmoor, WBEZ, and WHAS 11.
The Maury Povich Show, weekdays at 11 on WHAS TV.
I'm as happy as I've ever been in my life. I'm 52 years old, and I'm stepping up to the plate again.
You're watching live Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
And tonight we continue our special investigative series, Bingo. Do the numbers add up? Last year, at least $40 million was wagered on bingo right here in Jefferson County, Kentucky. The profits are supposed to go to charities. Tonight, find out how they just might be lining a few people's pockets. Dixie Highway. On almost any night, the parking lot with the most cars is the parking lot for the bingo hall. In the past few years, the bingos have popped up like mushrooms in springtime. Police and lawmakers say they're nearly as difficult to control. Here's why. It's a cash business. Even the bingo hall operators I interviewed for this series say the required accounting is a sham. Who knows how many people walk through the doors each night? That's just one of many questions about the bingo business.
They're supposed to take the count, the head count, what they got coming in.
So they lie about the head count?
Then put somebody in the halls to count them, damn it. It's very easy to do.
Easy or not, state law does not require any outside agency to double check. This woman used to work in a bingo hall. She wants to remain anonymous, but says it would be easy to skim off the top.
Who's to say how many players are there? I mean, we could have 500, but I could tell you 3. How are you going to know the difference? I mean, who's to say that you've got 20 boxes of pull tabs you sell on the floor, but you only say you sold 15?
Too many operators are out there who have no business whatsoever being in the bingo business.
Wayne Lord operates the main exchange bingo hall in Valley Station. On any night, hundreds of people fill his hall, wagering thousands and thousands in cash. Under Kentucky law, bingo is illegal unless the profits go for charity. Lord's Charity is an organization for artists.
We're building a sculpture studio, we have a woodworking studio, we have classrooms, gallery spaces. We conduct classes, etc., throughout the community.
Here's the charity, the Falls City Arts Gallery. Without the bingo, where would the gallery be?
We wouldn't be anywhere. We wouldn't be here.
Wayne Lord tells me last year this bingo brought in $14 million. He says 85% or nearly $12 million went to the bingo winners.
$60.
That leaves $2 million for the gallery and several other charities. He says the people who work during the games are volunteers. Now, Kentucky law says all bingo workers must be volunteers. But the former bingo hall worker we talked to says she got paid, sometimes in cash.
They told me we were considered management, staff management. I was paid cash and a check, both.
Why both?
Why both? I don't know.
You never asked why it was
No. I never asked.
According to Lord, his wife Carol and 2 other employees work full-time for the bingos. Does that skirt the law? Carol Lord says no.
Well, I don't see that I draw the salary from the bingo. As I see it, the law states that you cannot work the bingo and be paid. All of my work is done virtually through the week, through the month.
Just north on Dixie Highway, it's Valley Bingo. Wayne Walker rents this hall to several charities. He runs 2 of them, the West Side and the Market Street Missions for Homeless Men. Keep in mind, under Kentucky law, a charity may hold only 2 bingos a week. Auxiliaries of the charity may have additional bingos. Is there any such thing really as the men's auxiliary? Who's on the men's auxiliary? Who runs it?
The same board of directors that has the regular missions.
So there really isn't a men's auxiliary.
It's just another loophole in order to get around the law.
Something else here. It's not illegal, but you might find it interesting. Charities from other states are operating bingos in Jefferson County. You have the Michigan Child Safety Council, the National Child Safety Council, and the Missing Children Help Center, all headquartered in Michigan. Also on Dixie Highway, there's Castle Bingo.
I feel like a lot of the stuff in the bingo industry, I think it is, a lot of it is run too loose. I'll be the first one to tell you that.
For about a year now, the members of ADAPT, an organization for the disabled, say they've been receiving bingo money from Castle. The members have purchased a specially equipped van, made trips, and built ramps with that money.
How much
do they bring in during your bingo?
I'm not aware.
You don't have any idea?
No, because what they do for us and what they have done has provided for the people that no one else would do that for.
If they are ran legally, if the money is going to the nonprofits, it'd be a wonderful thing.
And that may be a big if. Many charities say they are being run out of the bingo business because of those huge halls you have seen in our series. Tomorrow night at 6, hear the Catholic side of the controversy. They say schools have closed because of unfair bingo competition.
The Charlestown, Indiana mother accused along with her husband of brutally abusing their daughter was arraigned in court today. Vicki Gray, the 22-year-old mother, is charged with neglect of her 2-year-old child. Her stepfather, 34-year-old Terry Gray, is charged with beating the girl, and prosecutors say the mother did nothing to stop it. Mrs. Gray was ordered held on a $50,000 bond. If found guilty, she could face 20 years in prison, and her husband up to 58 years behind bars.
And coming up here on the News Channel, Chuck Taylor says we could be seeing the end of our warm weather.
A cooler forecast for the weekend when we come back.
At Baptist Hospital East, we know that having your first baby can seem like a long, drawn-out affair. But think about all you have to do to get ready. Choose the right hospital, find a good doctor, think about names, cribs, diapers, birthing classes, car seats, exercise, nutrition, learn about the baby's development. There's not as much time as you think. Our First at Baptist East can help first-time parents feel more confident and comfortable. Our First at Baptist East for expectant parents who aren't quite sure what to expect.
Why do so many people choose Value Market?
Fresh California iceberg lettuce, 58 cents a head. Fisher's Melwood bacon, $1.19. Rainbow King thin sandwich bread, buy one, get one free. Sealtest cottage cheese, just 99 cents. Stokely corn or green beans, 29 cents. Mountain Dew and all Pepsi products, just $3.78 with mail-in refund offer.
Value Market. The name says it all.
The office chair. In today's workplace, it needs to be more, like sensible seating from Hahn. It's executive seating that's a technological tool, a productivity center, the comfortable way to get more done. Sensible seating. It responds to human needs.
The sensible choice from Hahn and O'Connor and Rocky.
Think pink. Yes, think pink and save 50% on Gross Diamond Center's all-new collection of pink ice jewelry. Oh, yeah, save 50% on pink ice rings. If it's pink, you save 50%. Wow, save 50%. Think pink this week and save 50% on all pink ice jewelry at Gross Diamond Centers. But hurry, a sale like this won't last forever. Think pink and save 50%. The perfect gift, the perfect price. Only at Gross Diamond Centers.
You're watching live Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
As far as our nice weather is concerned, it might be here today and gone tomorrow or very soon.
It's going, I'll tell you. It's leaving our region right now. You know, we've had a very mild week around here. Earlier in the week, temperatures were in the mid-60s. Today, we topped out at 54. And if you were thinking, well, this kind of nice weather is going to last through the weekend, you're wrong. Here's what's going to happen for the weekend. Cold front is moving through right now. And starting tomorrow, the colder weather will be moving in, and by Saturday, it's right back to midwinter weather around here. We'll see lots of clouds on Saturday, and to add to the wintry picture, we could see a few flurries around. The high on Saturday will only be near 32. It'll get a little bit better on Sunday with some sun and a high temperature of 36. That cold front is pushing to our south now. Quite a few clouds north of here. It's only 34 at Indianapolis, 41 at Cincinnati, 39 at Lexington. To the south ahead of the front, though, temperatures are in the 40s. It's 43 at Nashville and 42 down at Memphis. Well, there is no precipitation associated with that frontal system, and that storm that has been causing all the wet weather in the deep south and along the mid-Atlantic coast is moving on out to the east, but out west, where they really need the rain, they are getting the rain. Los Angeles has had about a ½ inch of rain today, and in San Diego, they've had about 3/4 of an inch of rain, and that wet weather is going to continue out there for at least the next 24 hours. Well, our temperature is just beginning to fall off. It's 41, humidity is 43%. The wind has shifted, the cold front has moved through. We're now seeing a northwest wind coming in at 8 miles an hour. The barometer, 29.72 and steady. Pollution's just barely into the moderate category at 52. Our high today, as we mentioned, a mild 54, the low this morning 27, and we've had no rainfall for the day. In fact, we haven't had any rainfall or snow for the month of February. Well, we did see quite a bit of sun during the day today, but now clouds are beginning to increase as that frontal system drops south of us, and eventually we're going to see those low clouds coming down from the Great Lakes, and those low clouds will be with us through Saturday, and we're also talking about a few flurries. Well, there's the first cold front moving through now. A second stronger cold front will be sweeping through later on tomorrow. It all adds up to much colder weather, and with very unstable air aloft, we do look for the clouds and flurries. So overnight tonight, it will be mostly cloudy. We'll see an overnight low of 32. During the day tomorrow, it will be partly to, well, I'll say it'll be mostly cloudy, maybe a little sun. The latest computer information indicates lots of clouds, a high of only 42. Tomorrow night, it's going to be cloudy. There could be a few flurries around. Overnight low of 25 degrees. And for Saturday and Sunday, Saturday's going to be the real cold day, a high of only 32, up to 36 on Sunday. But look at that, a quick turnaround for the start of the work week on Monday, up to 48 degrees. And I wouldn't be surprised by Wednesday we see temperatures back in the 60s.
Here again.
Seesaw.
Thank you, Chuck. Up next, the governor reveals his plan for Kentucky's financial future.
And we'll tell you how it might affect your future.
Our recommendations will enable us to move to the next step in education reform. And they will ensure that
Store-wide inventory clearance now at Evans Furniture and Carpeting with no payments and no interest for 6 months. Save half price on this 5-piece tile-top dinette, just $388 at Evans. This complete 4-piece cherry bedroom, yours for only $7.99. Or this double inclining sofa, Evans clearance price, just $4.99. DuPont Stainmaster Carpet, your choice, plush or textured, only $11.76 a yard, installed with pad. Hurry in during Evans Furniture and Carpeting store-wide inventory clearance, now at all 4 Evans locations.
Louisville's best homes, featuring the area's best builders and newest neighborhoods, plus information on home decorating, maintenance, remodeling, and landscaping. Louisville's best homes, Sunday at 1 on WHAS TV.
From Hollywood Pictures.
We need help.
Don't you presume to tell me how to follow up. Sean Connery is a doctor determined to make a difference.
I found a cure for the plague of the 20th century, and now I've lost.
This is the cure for cancer.
Haven't you ever lost anything to pass your car keys?
On the trail of an amazing discovery, he found an explosive adventure. Medicine Man, rated PG-13.
Starts tomorrow at a selected theater near you.
An important bulletin from Burlington Coat Factory. Burlington is closing its Dixie Highway warehouse, but keeping open its warehouse in Shelbyville Road Plaza. Burlington can't fit the merchandise from 2 warehouses into 1. They must reduce their stock. Prices slashed on thousands of fine quality fashions at both locations. Save on famous label coats, designer sportswear and dresses, menswear, kids' clothes, linens, and bath accessories. Don't miss this incredible sale. Now at both Burlington Coat Factory warehouses.
Oh, a Toyota Camry.
It's not a Camry,
Well, it's bold and dashing like a Camry.
but it costs a lot less.
How gallant.
No, how gallant.
You're watching live Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
Nearly every agency in state government will suffer funding cuts under the budget plan unveiled by Governor Jones tonight. Jones told state lawmakers that his top funding priorities are education reform and Medicaid, but other programs will suffer in exchange. Mark Hebert reports.
The governor is getting big applause from state lawmakers because he's not Wallace Wilkinson, and because word leaked out early that his proposed two-year state budget wouldn't be as bad as previously feared. During his first budget address, Jones stressed several times that the meat of the 1990 education reforms will be funded.
Our recommendations will enable us to move to the next step in education reform, and they will ensure that Kentucky's education system remains a model for the entire nation.
So the biggest winner in Jones's bare-bones budget plan is education, with an additional $230 million for local districts. The ballooning Medicaid program will also get a big boost in funding. There will be few construction projects, though Louisville's waterfront development would get $12.5 million, but only if it can raise a matching amount from private sources. There's $25 million earmarked for expanding the south wing at the fairgrounds and $100 million to renovate state parks. Losers in Jones's proposal are the state universities and the wealthier school districts like Jefferson and Oldham counties, which will get less state money than they're receiving this year. The state legislature and the road fund would also suffer millions of dollars in cuts. And the state employees listening to Jones's speech couldn't have been happy tonight. Most won't get a pay raise until 1994, and those earning more than $50,000 a year will actually take a pay cut in the coming year.
And of course, I will also take that cut.
Jones says an unspecified number of state workers are likely to be laid off. Hearings on his $23 billion budget plan are expected to begin tomorrow. Mark Hebert for the News Channel, WHAS 11.
In addition, one special interest group tonight, the Kentuckians for Better Transportation, claims the governor is breaking a campaign promise not to transfer money out of the road fund. The governor denies that he ever made such a pledge.
The theft conviction of former State Agriculture Commissioner Butch Burnett has been overturned by the State Court of Appeals. The appellate judges ruled that there was not enough evidence to convict Burnett or co-defendants J.D. Wolf and John Kelly. A Franklin County jury found the three men guilty of submitting false invoices for air travel. Burnett resigned from office because of those charges.
The Louisville Cards were out for a little revenge in Freedom Hall tonight.
Dave Conrad tells us if they were successful. Coming up.
Brewer kind of leans back and hits the shot.
Come on, Raisin Bran is Raisin Bran. What's this? Total Raisin Bran, huh? Big crisp flakes, lots of raisins. This is amazing. Total Raisin Bran has 100% of lots of vitamins and minerals. And Kellogg's has only one. I'm surprised.
Total Raisin Bran, the Raisin Bran with the total difference.
I just assumed they were all the same, but they're not.
The Kosare Shrine Circus is coming to town, and Friday, February 7th is WHAS TV War All Travel Night. Register to win a fabulous 3-day cruise to Nassau in the Bahamas aboard Carnival Cruise Lines. Air transportation by Delta Airlines. We'll draw the winner on Louisville Tonight Live Friday, February 7th at 7:30 p.m. Pick up registration forms where you buy tickets, mail them in, or register the night of the performance at the door. Plan now to attend WHAS TV War All Travel Night at the Kosare Shrine Circus. It's a night the whole family will enjoy.
Are you trying to buy a car? Well, Uncle Sam's sending out those tax refund checks, and that means you can buy a car. Don Ford has over 200 quality cars ready to roll. Use your tax refund as a down payment, and Don Ford will finance the rest right on the lot. Even if you've been turned down by banks and other car dealers, Don Ford will finance you. Don't waste your tax refund this year. Uncle Sam says buy from Don Ford. For over 40 years, Louisville's best buy here, pay here dealer. 2 locations, Preston and Dixie.
Don't miss the Get Downtown Sale Days this Monday through Friday at the Louisville Galleria.
Listen to the scissors cutting all around. Don't you love the sound of a price coming down? Listen to the scissors. Listen to the scissors. Don't you love the sound of a price coming down?
This week at Kroger, save on grain-fed select whole boneless ribeye, just $2.99 a pound. Kroger Grade A large or extra large eggs are only 59 cents a dozen. And U.S. #1 size A white potatoes are just 9 cents a pound.
You're watching live Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
Here's Dave. The Louisville Cardinals have been looking for a hot shooting hand. Any hot shooting hand.
And a youngster stepped forward tonight and said, I have that.
All right.
All right, and let me show you. I'll burn them right now. Louisville's two-game losing streak in Freedom Hall ended with a vengeance tonight as the Cardinals knocked 20th-ranked North Carolina Charlotte out of the Metro Conference lead. James Boo Brewer came off the bench to light the Louisville fuse, hitting all three-pointers he took in the game and leading the Cardinals with 19 points tonight. This game was decided in the first half as Brewer, and right there, Everett Sullivan, who tallied 10 in the contest, keyed a 17-2 Cardinal run as Louisville took control and kept control. A must-win going in, and it got the win coming out as the boos were everywhere. Louisville by 10 over Charlotte.
You know, the best came in and produced real well, so, you know, we played pretty good.
You must have felt pretty good with that shot tonight.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about it. You know, we worked hard and doing practice and stuff, and it was hitting, so unfortunately they kept feeding me the ball.
All I told them before the game was I wanted them, each and every one of them, to play harder than the guy they played against, give maximum effort, and don't worry about anything, just play. Let me coach the team, let me substitute, and you just do what I want you to do, and you'll be amazed how well you'll play.
And Louisville obviously played well tonight. So did Iowa, upsetting number 11 Michigan State, 77-63. Tulane in overtime over South Florida, 78-70. Virginia Commonwealth went down to Southern Miss and beat the Golden Eagles, 82-74. And Bellarmine's Knights victorious against IUPUI tonight, 94-81. Among the 19,000-plus on hand for tonight's Louisville victory in Freedom Hall was Louisville football player Herb Henry, who has been hospitalized, as you know, since being shot 3 weeks ago tomorrow night. Louisville assistant football coach, the offensive coordinator, Gary Nord, picked Herb up at the Frazier Rehab Center early this evening, and later at the game told us how much the youngster was looking forward to watching the Cardinals play.
We set a goal to get him out of there tonight, and fortunately, we reached it, and he's really excited. It's the first time he's been out of the hospital since his accidents happened, and mentally, he's handling it very well. Well, what a tough kid and what a tragedy, but we got to look at the positive side of it, and thank God he's still with us.
Tonight's game was also a homecoming of sorts for that man, number 30, fifth-year North Carolina Charlotte senior Jack Boley, who played his high school basketball at Clarksville Providence. So his family was on hand to watch him play tonight, including his nephew.
Well, it felt great. You know, it's kind of tough losing, but we play hard, and it's always nice to come back in front of home.
You guys had a lot of folks around here taking up notice when you knocked Louisville off on your home court, and I think they were waiting for you tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they were. That was a lot of fun for me because you know you always want to play against that home team, and to beat them that was really fun.
Seldom used Kentucky basketball guard Carlos Toomer has been indefinitely suspended by Wildcat coach Rick Pitino for violating an unspecified team rule, suspended indefinitely from both practice and games. He's averaging maybe a little bit over a point a game, as I recall.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. And when we come back, we'll tell you how one Hoosier rock star is helping some people get their MTV.
Since you spend your most valuable time there, you need to spend a little time here. At Lazarus February Home Sale, you'll find 20 to 60% off everything for your home. This really is the best time to save on the quality you'll enjoy for years to come. Furniture to fit any style of living and entertaining. The difference here is choice. Ask about our 12-month payment plan. Spend a little time and save at Lazarus February Home Sale.
An important bulletin from Burlington Coat Factory. Burlington is closing its Dixie Highway warehouse, but keeping open its warehouse in Shelbyville Road Plaza. Burlington can't fit the merchandise from 2 warehouses into 1. They must reduce their stock. Prices slashed on thousands of fine quality fashions at both locations. Save on famous label coats, designer sportswear and dresses, menswear, kids' clothes, linens, and bath accessories. Don't miss this incredible sale. Now at both Burlington Coat Factory warehouses.
Chicken Give, one of the new Ultimate 200s from Weight Watchers.
Shrimp as you like it. Golden, fried to perfection. As a cocktail or in a salad. It's waiting for you at Kingfish Restaurants.
WD brand beef is raised in the West, but it's fluent in a lot of languages. WD brand beef from Winn-Dixie, the beef people.
You're watching live Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
Residents of Johnson City, Tennessee want their MTV, and Hoosier rocker John Mellencamp wants to help them get it. You see, Johnson City residents are waging a war to convince their local cable system to start offering MTV again. And Mellencamp held a free concert there last night for about 3,500 people as part of that campaign. Salmons Communications says it canceled the service to hold down cable rates. Pop stars Paula Abdul, Phil Collins, and Rod Stewart have appeared in TV ads airing in Johnson City, urging viewers to complain.
And we want to recap our top story tonight from Evansville. Just before 11 this morning, a C130 transport plane out of Louisville crashed into a hotel and restaurant in Evansville, Indiana. 16 people have died. 14 are seriously injured. All 5 of the crew members on the plane lived in the immediate Louisville area. Tonight, investigators at that scene are sifting through the ashes, looking for clues to find out just what happened. News Channel crews will remain on the scene throughout this night, and we'll have the very latest information for you tomorrow morning and throughout the day.
That's our late news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.
Good night, everybody.
I can't believe it.
What? What's the matter?
The car dealer told me I'm buried in my car.
Don't let new car depreciation bury you. Buy from Budget Car Sales. A 91 Chevy Corsica or Dodge Spirit. Your choice, just $75.95.
Instead, I'm buried.
Oh, it could have been worse.
What could be worse?
The car dealer told me I'm upside down.
If we make a deal by Sunday at Budget Car Sales, we'll pay off your trade, no matter how much you owe.
What would you say to have Pizza Hut bring you the ultimate cheese pizza? Hold on, we're not just talking 1 or 2 kinds of cheese. We're not even talking 3 or 4. Not even 5. We're talking 6 different cheeses in one delicious pizza. Try the new 6-cheese pizza for an amazing $7.99. A second for just $4 more. So if you want cheese, all you gotta do is say, "Deliver me! Pizza Hut, deliver me!" And for an even tastier 6-cheese pizza, don't forget to add lots of your favorite toppings.
Would you like to look younger? Watch Fountains of Youth beginning Monday on WHAS 11.